done by you saying Allahu Akbar 34 times, Alhamdulillah 33 times, and Subhanallah 33 times.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Welcome to Ahlulbayt TV and the Q&A session coming to you live this evening. Thank you for your presence and of course for your questions, which we already have some to put to our esteemed Islamic scholar in due course, inshallah. Quick reminder of the ways in which you can get in touch with us. As always, you can send in your questions via text or WhatsApp on the number appearing on your screens as we speak. Alternatively, if you're watching via YouTube, you can put your questions there. And we shall, as always, try to get through as many of your questions, time permitting, inshallah. So without any further delay, on behalf of all our respective viewers, we welcome our esteemed Islamic scholar to Ahlulbayt TV, His Eminence, Sayyid Mohammed Al-Mousawi. Sayyid, Assalamu alaikum.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين. الحمد لله كما هو أهله. وصلى الله على محمد وآله الطيبين الطاهرين. We thank Allah and thank Allah and thank Allah. And we admit that we will never be able to thank Him enough for all His bounties on us, because His bounties are unlimited. We can never count His bounties on us, and we cannot thank the unlimited bounties by our limited abilities. But we admit that His bounties are much greater than our thanking, and we remain always feeling that we are trying our best to thank Allah, but we will never be able to fulfill all our responsibility of thanking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We are blessed again with another great bounty, which is a new month of Rajab. Month of Rajab is one of the great months in the whole year, which is mentioned in many authentic statements from the Prophet of Islam and his holy progeny, Ahlulbayt, that Shahrul Istighfar li Ummati, the month of Rajab, is the month of seeking forgiveness for the Ummah of the Prophet of Islam, a month in which Allah forgives the sincere believers who seek forgiveness, and a month in which Allah grants great mercy and great rahmah and great grace, fadlun min Allah, on the mu'mineen who worship Allah in the month of Rajab. As you know, the 3 months of Rajab, Sha'ban, and month of Ramadan are very important months. The most important 3 months are these 3 months for ibadah. In the month of Rajab, main things which should be done. Number 1, repeating Astaghfirullah wa atubu ilayh. Morning 70 times, evening 70 times. Astaghfirullah wa atubu ilayh. or astaghfirullah wa as'aluhu at-tawbah. Any form of astaghfirullah. This is number one. Number two, in the month of Rajab, also repeating La ilaha illallah. La ilaha illallah. Day and night. Number three, reciting Surah Qul huwa Allahu ahad as many times as we can. One of our maraja of Taqleed say that we may recite 100 times Surah Qul huwa Allahu ahad, which won't take more than 14 minutes or 15 minutes maximum, and gift the reward of it to the Prophet and Ahlulbayt and our parents and our relatives. 100 times of Qul huwa Allahu ahad every day. Also in the month of Rajab, there is a great reward for fasting. Fasting, even one day in the month of Rajab, has great reward. If you pray, if you fast 2 days, 3 days, more you fast, more great reward and greater reward you will gain. Those who have qada fast on them, they may fast the qada during the month of Rajab. As you know, anyone who is entitled to perform qada fast is not allowed to perform recommended fast. You have got qada, obligatory fast, you should first perform your obligatory qada fast. When you perform the qada in the month of Rajab or the month of Sha'ban, you will get more reward because of the importance of the month of Rajab and month of Sha'ban. If you don't have any qada fast on you, it is highly recommended to fast a recommended fast in the month of Rajab. In the hadith, that those who fast in the month of Rajab, Allah will grant them Jannah, paradise. Also in the month of Rajab, it is highly recommended to do the visitation, ziyarah of Ahlulbayt alayhim as-salam. Wherever you are, even from your own home, you can face the direction of the shrine and recite the ziyarah of Ahlulbayt alayhim as-salam. We have got in the month of Rajab special supplications narrated from the Prophet and Ahlulbayt. One of them is Ya man arjuhu li kulli khair. Many of the mu'mineen know about this dua. وآمنوا سخطه عند كل شر يا من يعطي الكثير بالقليل يا من يعطي من سأله. Another dua, يا من يملك حوائج السائلين. Another dua, خاب الوافدون على غيرك. Another dua, اللهم يا ذا المنن السابغة والآلاء الواسعة والرحمة الواسعة. We have got many great supplications narrated from the Prophet and Ahlulbayt during the month of Rajab. We need to recite these supplications and get from the benefits of it. The first Thursday evening, which we call it Laylat al-Raghaib. Laylat al-Raghaib is the first Laylat al-Jumu'ah in the month of Rajab. It is an important night. Those who have got important need, they can seek it from Allah in Laylat al-Raghaib. So, month of Rajab is a month which is full of blessings, full of rahmah, full of istighfar, and in the day of Qiyamah, it will be called Ayn al-Rajabiyun. Where are the people who used to do good in the month of Rajab, and they will be invited to the paradise. May Allah grant all of you and all the lovers and followers of Ahlulbayt more and more from His bounties, His mercy, and His forgiveness. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad.
Thank you very much. Is it necessary for the aqiq ring, so aqiq stone in a ring, to directly touch the skin?
No, it is not necessary that we make the aqiq stone touch our skin. No, we don't have such narration suggesting that. We are being encouraged to wear aqiq stone and wear any ring, but for men it should not be golden. For women it can be golden, but wearing any ring which is not golden for men is recommended. We have got a narration, تختموا ولو بخاتم من حديد. Wear any ring, even if the ring is from iron, means very cheap quality. But any ring, wearing a ring in your hand, your right hand, is recommended. And aqiq is more recommended. And the reward of your salah will be multiplied into many folds if you wear aqiq in your hand during performing the salah. But it is not necessary to make the aqiq stone touch your skin.
Do we know what the reason is why aqiq is recommended, was more recommended than other stones?
Because the Prophet of Islam told us that this aqiq is very important to wear. We have got in the narrations that the stone of aqiq accepted the real faith before other stones. That's why it has got special importance. Allah has sent special blessings on those who wear the stone of aqiq, and especially aqiq Yamani from Yemen. That is what the Prophet told us. And when the Prophet tells us anything, we know that he does not speak from his heart. He speaks from Allah. And when Allah tells us something, Allah knows. So aqiq, the stone of aqiq, has got special importance, which Allah knows, and the Prophet of Islam told us to wear the aqiq stone.
Okay, thank you. Next question. I am intending to go to Umrah soon, inshallah, and wanted to ask whether I can perform that Umrah on behalf of a dear friend of mine who sadly passed away recently. If I can, please explain how I should perform it.
Any recommended worship, being Umrah, being Ziyarah, being night prayer, Salat al-Layl, Namaz al-Shab, being giving charity, being reciting Quran, being attending or organizing a majlis, or feeding people, or whatever, any recommended act can be performed on behalf of others. You can do any good work. Now you are asking about the Umrah. Yes, you can perform Umrah on behalf of your dear friend. You can perform the same Umrah on behalf of your parents and all your friends and all your relatives. And you can more importantly, make the Umrah on behalf of all Ahlulbayt and your parents and relatives and friends and any follower of Ahlulbayt. So you can perform it on behalf of millions of people, alive or dead. Everyone from them will get full reward. Allah is the most generous. Allah will not cut the reward into pieces and give everyone a small piece. No, Allah will grant from His great generosity full reward of Umrah to everyone that you intended to perform the Umrah on his or her behalf. So yes, you can also perform the Umrah for you and on behalf of others. So when you go to Umrah, when you wear the Ihram, you can do the intention that I am wearing Ihram to start the Ihram for Umrah for me and on behalf of Ahlulbayt alayhim salam, my parents, my relatives, my friends, especially mention the names if you want. So that also is possible. And the Umrah is very simple, starting from the miqat, the place where we wear the Ihram, called miqat, depending from where you want to head towards Mecca. If you are going to Jeddah, so the nearest miqat to Jeddah is called Juhfa. And nearest miqat to Medina, if you want to go to Mecca from Medina, then it will be Masjid al-Shajara. So wherever you will be, go to the nearest miqat and do the intention of Umrah. It is called Umrah Mufrada, because the Umrah Tamattu is part of Hajj, and no Hajj in these months. Hajj only in the months of Hajj. But now the Umrah is Mufrada. So intention for Umrah Mufrada from miqat, wearing the Ihram and reciting لبيك اللهم لبيك لبيك لا شريك لك لبيك إن الحمد والنعمة لك والملك لا شريك لك لبيك. When you recite this لبيك اللهم لبيك, then your Ihram state has started. You know, as we start our Salah by Takbiratul Ihram, we say Allahu Akbar, Salah starts. Our state of Ihram starts from Labbaik Allahumma Labbaik. Then from Miqat with the Ihram, we head towards Mecca. And in Mecca, the first thing which we do for Umrah, after you go to the hotel, if you want to take rest, it is permissible. But the A'mal, the rites of Umrah, in Mecca, number one, tawaf around the Kaaba 7 rounds, which is called tawaf al-Umrah al-Mufrada. Tawaf for the Umrah Mufrada, 7 rounds. Then 2 rak'at of namaz behind Maqam Ibrahim, a place which is well known there, everybody knows it. Maqam Ibrahim, small tomb behind it. 2 rak'at namaz, like morning namaz, we call it 2 rak'at Salat al-Tawaf. Okay? That is number 2. Number 3, after Salat al-Tawaf, you go to Sa'i between Safa and Marwa. Safa and Marwa. Walk between them 7 rounds. From Safa to Marwa, 1. From Marwa back to Safa, 2. From Safa again to Marwa, 3. Back from Marwa to Safa, 4. Again from Safa to Marwa, 5. Back from Marwa to Safa, 6. And again, finally, from Safa to Marwa, 7 sa'i is over. After sa'i, we have taqsir, shortening your hair. Any part of your hair, any part. You cut any part from your hair, we call it taqsir, shortening. Okay? If you shorten your hair, then your Umrah Mufrada is complete. Only one thing remains on you, Tawaf al-Nisa. Tawaf al-Nisa, 3. Back from the Tawaf al-Nisa, 7 rounds, usual 7 rounds, and 2 rak'at of Salat al-Tawaf. And that's it. So this is the steps of Umrah Mufrada. You can do it for yourself and on behalf of others. Yes, please.
Okay, thank you. Can you highlight the importance of Taqleed and the sources from Imams as opposed to Akhbaris? Why was the Akhbari movement started? And is there any place for it in Shia Islam?
Taqleed is based on the fact that everyone should make his religious practice according to the knowledge. Some people practice religion but without knowledge. They practice what they have noticed others doing. Their fathers, their forefathers, their grandmothers. But any worship, any religious practice needs to be based on proper knowledge. Who have got the proper knowledge? The most learned scholars, Maraja' of Taqleed. Among all the mujtahids, the most learned is called Marja' of Taqleed. Taqleed means to refer to experts in Islamic rules and apply the verdict of the Marja' of Taqleed. This practice of Taqleed was from the time of the Prophet of Islam. Yes. And in the time of all the infallible Imams. Yes. Imam was alive. The Prophet was alive among Muslims, but those who were living far away, those who were not able to meet the Prophet or the Imam easily, far away, that time difficult to travel. Like nowadays, you can travel in 2 hours and reach from, say, London to other faraway place. That time it was difficult to travel. So the Prophet of Islam has told the Muslims of every area to follow what the scholars of that area tell them. In the time of Amir al-Mu'mineen alayhi salam, he was in Kufa, but the people in faraway places like Khurasan, like Kabul, like Yemen, faraway places, they have been told to follow the scholars who were among them. This practice continued till now. Now, when the Imam is in his ghaibat, occultation, Imam told the followers of Ahlulbayt to follow the verdict of the most learned scholars from those who studied the knowledge and the narrations of of Ahlulbayt alayhim as-salam. This is Taqleed. Those who speak against Taqleed, they have misunderstood Taqleed. In fact, Taqleed means following the most learned, is being practiced by human beings in every field of life. In medical sciences, if someone needs heart operation for his father or his wife or his mother or his child, he will not take the patient to someone who is not expert. Usually, every human being goes to the most learned in every field of knowledge. Someone wants to build a big building. He cannot go to the doctor and ask him for a plan for building a big building. No, he goes to the engineer, the architect. So in every field, legal field, medical field, engineering field, in any field, all the people with logic and sense, they refer to the most learned. And usually in religious matters, we must refer to the experts, as we read in Quran, فَاسْأَلُوا أَهْلَ الذِّكْرِ إِن كُنْتُمْ لَا تَعْلَمُونَ. Ask those who have the knowledge when you don't know. That is the foundation of Taqleed, which is in Quran and in the hadith of the Prophet and Ahlul Bayt alayhim as-salam.
Thank you. You've already answered the question, but okay, just as a very quick follow-up question. So you've given the explanation as to why we should do Taqleed of Maraja. What should our relationship be with those who claim that doing Taqleed is something haram and that we don't need to do it? I mean, obviously there are Muslim brothers, but is there guidelines in the way that we should interact with them? Should that interaction be minimal, or do we just treat them as normal like we would do somebody who does believe in Taqleed?
I mean, those who claim that Taqleed is not required, they have misunderstood Taqleed. They are in fact following the claim of someone who is not an expert. Many of our young people, they speak about Taqleed. They repeat what they have heard from XYZ. Those people who told them that are without enough knowledge. So, do you want to follow the person who is less in knowledge and leave the person who has got more knowledge? No. We, as followers of Ahlul Bayt, we obey what order came from Ahlul Bayt to every follower, that follow the verdict of the big scholars who have studied the narrations of Ahlul Bayt, and they give verdict according to that narration. Again, I say those who speak against Taqleed have misunderstood the situation, and now they are in fact doing Taqleed of Jahil, means they are following less knowledgeable. Otherwise, they are not doing anything without Taqleed. Now, if they pray their namaz, how do they pray namaz? What are the steps of the namaz? They are doing whatever they heard from others. So they are following someone. But we say that you should follow the most learned, not the less learned. Yes, please.
But in terms of our relationship with them?
They are our brothers in Islam and love of Ahlul Bayt. Our relationship with them is usual, like our relationship with any Muslim who is following Ahlul Bayt alayhim As-salam.
Okay, thank you very much. There's another question that's just come in on the same topic. It says, how does Imam Mahdi, may Allah hasten his reappearance, guide Maraja of Taqleed? Oh, he said, yeah, the Maraja.
Imam Al-Mahdi alayhi salam is alive. And he is witnessing whatever going on in the whole world. And he is reacting with whatever he is being ordered by Allah to react with. He is guiding the scholars. He is protecting the believers. He is doing his best according to the order of Allah to guide. How Imam Al-Mahdi is guiding the scholars? The answer is Allah knows. Allah is making the arrangement for Imam Al-Mahdi to be wherever Allah wants him to be. He is sometime in Mecca, sometimes in Medina, sometimes in Najaf, sometimes in Karbala, sometimes in Kazimiya, Kazimain, or Samarra, or Mashhad, or Qom, or anywhere on this planet, wherever Allah wants him to go. Imam is the Imam of the whole human beings. He is the Imam. How Imam is guiding the Maraja of Taqleed? The answer is Allah knows. Allah knows, because the life of Imam Al-Mahdi alayhi salam during his occultation is not an open life for everyone to know. Allah wants to protect Imam Al-Mahdi alayhi salam from the evil of the tyrants who are after his life. They want to kill him. They want to kill him. They are killing his followers. So how they leave him? No, they will not leave him if they know. Allah is making the arrangement for the life of the Imam Mahdi and his movement and his teaching and his guiding the Maraja of Taqleed in the way that Allah knows best. It is not a matter which we can explain and say, no, it is out of our knowledge.
Okay, thank you. Assalamu alaikum. Are men allowed to wear undergarments in...
Are men allowed?
Are men allowed to wear undergarments in Ihram?
No. Men are not allowed to wear any dress during Ihram except only the two pieces, which is one on the shoulder and one down. It's libas al-ihram, two pieces. No underwear. That is for men. Women can wear their usual dress. So our ihram as men, only two pieces, unstitched. Women can do ihram with their usual dress. Sometimes we find, or in most of the cases, our sisters and our daughters who go for Umrah and Hajj, they wear white. It is mustahab, recommended, but not compulsory. So the woman dresses or wears her usual dress. Man should wear only two pieces which are unstitched, and no stitched underwear. No stitched underwear.
And
if someone wants to wear underwear, he can do that, but he should not wear any stitched. I mean, if someone wants to do something as an underwear, the textile should not be stitched at all. Yeah.
Okay. And just on Ihram for males, well, it may apply to females as well, just a couple other clarifications. Is the male allowed to wear a money belt? Are there any, is there a set criteria for the slippers that the male is wearing? And third,
Okay.
when the male is doing tawaf, is he allowed to wear the bag over his shoulders with the shoes inside?
Number one, it is permissible for a man during Ihram to wear a belt where he puts his money or other items in. So wearing a belt, which is a stitched belt, is permissible, number one. Number two, the slipper which man wears should not cover more than 1/3 of his feet. Number three, while doing tawaf, man is allowed to carry with him a bag where his slipper or shoes in. It is also permissible. Yes, please.
Thank you very much. If a parent died and the parent died without doing prayers, can the son do the prayers that the parent missed?
It is not matter of can. More than that, it is must. The elder son is responsible to perform qada, to compensate every missed prayer or missed fast which the father did not perform. It is responsibility on the eldest son, not daughter. But if any of other sons want to share, they can. Any daughter wants to perform qada, prayers or fasting, she can, and they will get reward for it. But any father or mother, when they die, the eldest son is responsible either to do it himself, or he can take help from his other brothers and sisters or other family members, or he can pay some money to someone to perform qada, fasting, and qada, salah on behalf of the deceased.
Okay, thank you. What is the version of Shias on Iblis? Is Iblis an angel or a jinn or a servant of Allah?
Shia Islam, which is the real Islam, which was preached and practiced by the Prophet of Islam, and we took it from the most reliable narrators, who are Ahlulbayt, peace and blessings upon them and their progeny. They said in the authentic hadith that Iblis is jinn, not angel, because we are the real followers of Quran. And Allah in Quran said, إِلَّا إِبْلِيسَ كَانَ مِنَ الْجِنِّ فَفَسَقَ عَنْ أَمْرِ رَبِّهِ. Iblis was jinn in Quran. إِلَّا إِبْلِيسَ كَانَ مِنَ الْجِنِّ فَفَسَقَ عَنْ أَمْرِ رَبِّهِ. So Iblis is a jinn, not an angel. And he is cursed because he did not obey Allah when Allah ordered everyone to prostrate to Adam alayhi salam. Yes, please.
Okay. Can I pray Salatul Jum'ah in in congregation through the internet with the niyyah, I would pray.
No. We don't have Salat al-Jum'ah through internet. No remote Salat al-Jum'ah. Salat al-Jum'ah needs physical gathering. You should go to the masjid or the place, because Salat al-Jum'ah can be performed not only in a masjid. Salat al-Jum'ah can be performed in any place, even at home. Say, for example, if in any city there's no masjid, or for any reason, masjid is very far, and 5 persons, including one of them who is permitted to lead Jummah prayer, they can pray Salat al-Jum'ah. 1 Imam al-Jum'ah and 4 people with him. But no Salat al-Jum'ah through TV or internet or any other telecom way. Salat al-Jum'ah needs physical participation in that place. Yes, please.
Okay, I have been fasting qadha for a long time. I don't know if my qadha is over or not. Can I make 2 niyats? If mine is over, can it be qadha for my mum?
So you were performing qadha on behalf of your father.
No.
And now you don't know whether you have completed the qadha of your father or not.
No.
You want to perform qadha that in case your father's qadha is over, you want to make it on behalf of your mother.
A slight correction, said no. The person was initially fasting qadha on their own behalf, for themselves.
For himself?
Yes.
For himself, okay. Okay, then he is not sure.
He's thinking maybe I've done enough fasting that has covered all of my qadha fasts, and now he's asking, can I make 2 niyats? So I'm fasting qadha on behalf of me if I still have some qadha, and if not, then on behalf of my mum. That's the assumption I'm making, is what the question means.
He can make the fasting intention amma fi dhimmah, means whatever Allah knows. Allah knows what you did compensate. If it is still more to compensate, it will be for you. If you have already completed what you need to compensate, we call it amma fi dhimmah, whatever known to Allah. Yes, please.
Okay, another question has just come in on the Salat al-Jama'ah. So a follow-up question has just come in, so I'll just read it out. It says, what is the responsibility of those in congregation if they realize that the Imam of Salat is not pronouncing the Arabic words correctly?
If you are sure that Imam al-Jama'ah is not pronouncing the words properly, then you yourself pronounce it properly, but not loudly. For example, you have heard Imam al-Jama'ah pronouncing one word in a wrong way. You pronounce it in the right way, but not loudly, to keep the respect of Imam al-Jama'ah. That's it.
Okay. So one shouldn't make the niyat, for example, furada or something like that.
No. It is Jama'ah. Because Imam al-Jama'ah, who pronounces in his own way, might be unable to recite anything more than what he is reciting. In Islam, everyone is responsible about what he can. You know, we have got famous narration that Bilal was reciting adhan, and in the adhan he used to say ashhadu, not ashhadu, with sin, not ash, with as only, ashhadu. So some of the people objected and told the Prophet that Bilal is reciting ashhadu. The Prophet, peace and blessing be upon him and his holy progeny, replied them, Sinu Bilalin Sheenun and Allah. The S of Bilal, Seen, is Sheen, as with Allah. Which means that everyone is responsible to recite as much as he can. So the Imam of Jama'ah who is reciting, he is reciting what he can. For him, his salah is okay, proper. But if you want to be sure, after being sure that he is reciting any word in the wrong way, then you say yourself without clear voice the same word in a proper way.
Okay. Thank you very much indeed. Next question. What is the sentence of someone who dies young by a motorcycle accident, and this person doesn't do prayers or any obligations? Does this person die a martyr or not?
The question of a person who died in young age, not praying salah, I mean, he did not perform his obligatory salah or obligatory fasting, his family should have a mercy on him and get his missed salah and missed fasting and missed other worship, obligatory worship, fulfilled on his behalf, performed on his behalf. The matter of being martyr or not martyr, we have got the general concept of martyrdom. Everyone who dies on the love of Muhammad and his holy progeny, man mata ala hubbi ali Muhammadin mata shahida. Everyone who dies on the love of the Prophet and his Ahlulbayt, he will get the reward of shaheed. Yes, please.
Okay, thank you. Next question. Is dua jalutiya beneficial and authentic?
It is mentioned in the books. It is mentioned in the books. This much I can say. Next, please.
The Quran orders us to recite with taratil. Is there any particular reason you recited the verse in an ordinary tone and not taratil?
Reciting with tartil, in fact, tartil, T-A-R-T-E-E-L, tartil is recommended. Even in Quran we read وَرَتِّلِ الْقُرْآنَ تَرْتِيلًا. Tartil is a special way of reciting Quran. When we read Quran, it is not like reading any text. Reading any text is reading, but when it is Quran, so we should do tartil. That's a special way of the recitation of Quran. يُرَتِّلُونَهُ تَرْتِيلًا. That is also one of the habits of the sincere believer, they recite Quran with that special way of reciting which appeals to their hearts. So it is mustahab, recommended. But if you don't recite tartil, your salah is valid. So good to recite with tartil, but if you don't know, or for any reason, if you recite without tartil, your salah is still valid.
Why is it the case that, okay, this is a generalization, but an observation could be made that why is it that when we listen to majalis, normally, not always, but normally when the Quran is referred to in a particular majlis or verse is recited, it tends to not be done with tartil? Is that because it's more appropriate in the context of a majlis, or is it just that they haven't gone for the istihbab?
No, tartil, I said, is mustahab. Tartil is mustahab, recommended, not obligatory. In many majalis, the scholar recites Quranic verses with tartil. They are doing the recommended act of tartil. Some scholars recite the verse without tartil. So it depends on them. But tartil, after all, is recommended. Yes, please.
Okay, thank you. In 1689, so chapter 16, verse 89, I'll try and find it in a minute. How will the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam be a witness to the Imam alayhi salam? What standards?
Can you recite the verse?
Just trying to find it now. Just bear me a second.
Or even the first word of the verse.
وَيَوْمَ نَبْعَثُ فِي كُلِّ أُمَّةٍ شَهِيدًا.
وجئنا بك
No.
شهيدا على هؤلاء.
عليهم من أنفسهم وجئنا بك شهيدا على هؤلاء.
وجئنا بك. أوكي. ويوم نبعث من كل أمة شهيدا على أنفسهم وجئنا بك. Okay. In the day of judgment, Allah will bring the prophets of the previous generations. They will be the witness on their communities. Shahidan min anfusihim. From every generation, the witness from them. وَجِئْنَا بِكَ. And you, O Muhammad, peace and blessing be upon him and those progeny, will be the witness on this ummah. He will be a witness on this ummah. Yes, please.
Okay. What is the ruling of Ayatollah Sistani on tattoos? These are becoming more prominent within our communities, and indeed prominent speakers are now tattooed with body art.
Tattoos are not haram. Wearing tattoo is not haram. But female is not allowed to expose any part of her body with tattoo or without tattoo in front of non-mahram males. And we don't encourage our male members, our children, our boys, our men, we don't encourage them to wear tattoo, but we don't say it is haram. The tattoo should not contain any holy name like Allah or any name of the infallible Prophet and the Imams, alayhim salam. Tattoo does not disturb wudu because it is just a color. It is not a layer which prevents water from reaching to the skin. So, if the tattoo does not have any holy name or any Quranic word, then it is permissible. Why we say it is not permissible if it contains Quranic word or the name of Allah or the Prophet or any of the infallible Imams? Because it is not permissible for us to touch our skin with the name of Allah or any Quranic word or the name of any of the 14 infallible alayhim salam. So when someone has tattoo on his body, definitely he goes to the toilet, then for a time he will be not in wudu. So that will be haram for him to touch the holy names or the Quranic words without having wudu. So tattoo should not contain at all any Quranic word and any of the holy names. Yes, please.
I remember speaking to a Sunni brother a few years ago who had one tattoo, just one tattoo, and it was just his name on his forearm. He told me that he went for the funeral of someone who had passed away, and the Imam of the Janazah saw the tattoo on his arm and told him that it was A, haram, and B, needed to have that tattoo removed, otherwise he wouldn't be able to be buried in the cemetery. Now, I don't know if this was just a one-off, but have you heard anything like this? And if so, why the difference in opinion?
No, this man who told him, I don't think that he is a real scholar, even not a Sunni scholar, because we don't have such evidence to prevent anyone to wear tattoo. Yes, it might be not accepted act in some cultures, but not everything not accepted in some culture can be called haram. No. In Shia Islam, the Islam of the Prophet and Ahlulbayt, we don't say haram easily. We have to establish authentic evidence that it is haram. When we cannot establish authentic evidence that it is haram, we don't say it is haram. So that Sunni brother who had a tattoo was told by his sheikh that he has to remove it, and if he dies, he will not be buried in Muslim graveyard. That is not right at all. I said we don't encourage wearing tattoo, but we cannot say it is haram. And a Muslim who wears tattoo, if he dies, how can you prevent him from being buried in Muslim graveyard? He is still a Muslim. He's not a kafir. He's not a kafir. We say that a Muslim, even if wearing tattoo according to that sheikh is not good, or even if it is haram, God forbid, we don't say haram. We don't say haram. But that Sunni sheikh who told him might think for any cultural reason, for any reason, he was being told by his sheikh. Anyway, even if a Muslim who commits haram act, if he dies, can anyone stop him from being buried in a Muslim graveyard? No, not at all. Muslim remains Muslim. Now, some Muslims commit suicide. Astaghfirullah, a'udhu billah. Though suicide is a major sin, but can anyone stop a Muslim who committed suicide from being buried in non-Muslim graveyard? No, he is still a Muslim with committing a major sin, but he is still a Muslim. We have got, in some cases, in some countries, Muslim woman who is living with a non-Muslim man, and she thinks that he is married to him. Of course, it is not a real marriage. But if this Muslim woman dies, who is living in sin with non-Muslim, can anyone stop her from being buried in Muslim graveyard? No, she is still a Muslim. A Muslim who commits major sin does not out of Islam. He is still a Muslim. Yes, please.
Okay. Can you tell us about the virtues of Zayd bin Ali?
Zayd bin Ali is a great believer. His father is Imam Ali Zayn al-Abidin al-Sajjad, and he was the uncle of Imam Ja'far al-Sadiq alayhi salam, because he is brother of Imam Muhammad al-Baqir alayhi salam. And Zayd bin Ali was always a pious believer, and he stood against the tyranny of the Bani Umayyah, and they killed him. We have got authentic narrations that Imam Ja'far al-Sadiq alayhi salam used to remember Zayd by praising him and praying for him. And we have got Rahimallahu Ammi Zayda. May Allah bless the soul of my uncle Zayd. Though Zayd was killed by the enemies of Ahlulbayt, Imam Ja'far al-Sadiq in the narration said that had my uncle Zayd went to Masjid al-Sahla, because he was in Iraq, and prayed in Masjid al-Sahla, then Allah would have saved him from the evil of Bani Umayyah. So Zayd bin Ali is a great personality in the history of Islam and Muslims.
Okay, thank you. What is the ruling on cosmetic procedures, including temporary enhancement, including lip fillers and Botox and permanent breast or buttock implants? These are obviously beautifying, but would be visible to the whole public and not just to the mahram men.
Yeah. Anything of beautification is not permissible to be exposed to outsiders, I mean men who are not mahram. If the female makes anything to make her lips look more beautiful, that lip should not be exposed in front of non-mahram men. Anything in the body is permissible as far as it is covered from non-mahram men. But during the operation itself, during the operation, no non-mahram man should see her. And no human being is allowed to touch her private parts. Even a woman, even if the person, the female, wants to do some cosmetic, the private parts are not allowed to be seen by any man or woman. And whatever they do, if it is disclosed, open, it should not be in front of the non-mahram men.
Okay, thank you. Can we pray nawafil and non-obligatory prayers if we still have qadha to perform?
This is one of the differences between salah and siyam. Fasting is not permissible for those who have got qada fasting. Means he who has got qada, obligatory fasting on him as qada, is not allowed to fast any recommended fasting. But salah, if you have got qada salah on you, you are still permitted to perform recommended salah. A person who has got qada salat for, say, any number of days or months or years, is he allowed to perform night prayer, Salatul Layl? The answer is yes, he is. So this is one of the differences between Salah and Siyam. Siyam, no recommended Siyam if you are liable for wajib fasting, but Salah, namaz, prayer, you are allowed to perform recommended Salah even if you have on you obligatory qada prayer.
When we pray namaz, we read Durud Sharif Salawat, which involves sending salawat to Abraham and his family. This wording is taken from Surah Hud, verse number 73, where Abraham Ahlulbayt is his wives. So in the same token, the Al of Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wasallam would include Azwaj.
My brother, it is not our authority to give the meanings of Quran when Allah in Quran told us who is the authorized to give us the meanings of Quran. Allah in Quran told the Prophet, لِتُبَيِّنَ لِلنَّاسِ مَا نُزِّلَ إِلَيْهِمْ. Allah tells him that وَأَنزَلْنَا إِلَيْكَ الذِّكْرَ, we have revealed on you the knowledge of Quran, لِتُبَيِّنَ, so that you explain to people the meanings of Quranic verses. The Prophet of Islam openly and repeatedly said that my progeny, my Ahlul Bayt are Ali, Fatima, Hassan, Hussein. And he did not allow any of his wives to join them. This happened in the house of Salama. And he did not allow Salama to join. She wanted to join. He said, Anti ala khair, but don't. He did not allow her to join. It happened again in the house of Aisha. And she wanted to join. He stopped her. No. So the Prophet said, these are my Ahlul Bayt. Allahumma haula Ahlu Bayti. None of the wives are included. None of the wives included in the إنما يريد الله ليذهب عنكم الرجس أهل البيت ويطهركم تطهيرا. And if you read the verses of Surah Al-Ahzab, if you read and think, you see how Allah is threatening. Allah is threatening some of the wives of the Prophet that if you do bad, you will be punished double. And Allah is telling Ahlul Bayt that Allah has removed away from you every bad, every filth, every sin. إنما يريد الله ليذهب عنكم, away from you. So that does not match at all with what Allah told the wives of the Prophet. يا نساء النبي من يأتي منكن بفاحشة مبينة. O wives of the Prophet, anyone from you who commits a bad sinful act, يضاعف لها العذاب ضعفين. Her punishment will be doubled. So this is for the wives of Prophet. And when Allah is talking to Ahlulbayt, who are the purified, is saying, إِنَّمَا يُرِيدُ اللَّهُ لِيُذْهِبَ عَنْكُمْ, not عَنْكُنَّ in Arabic. When you talk to wives, you should say عَنْكُنَّ. Allah said عَنْكُمْ, عَنْكُمْ. And the Prophet explained who are Ahlulbayt, who are the purified: Ali, Fatima, Hassan, and Hussein. Yes, please.
Okay, thank you. In Medina, where do we do sajda, as it's all carpet and we can't use sajdagar or paper, especially in Riyadul Jannah? Secondly, how do we pray namaz jama'at with other sects?
Performing namaz with any Muslim sect is recommended. Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam taught us to perform namaz with any Muslim sect. With any Muslim sect. Okay. If under any circumstance you cannot put tajdaga, you cannot put more, you cannot put piece of paper. In any case, when there is a situation of taqiyya, then many of our ulama said that under taqiyya, when you feel danger, you can do sajda on the carpet. If there is a risk on you, if you use something like more or paper or tissue or anything which is permissible, if you find it very difficult and dangerous, then taqiyya says you can do sajda on the carpet. But in the Masjid al-Nabawi, there are many areas where there are carpet, not carpet pieces, marble pieces. I mean, some areas are not covered by the carpet. You can go and do sajda on that marble, because the carpet is not covering everything. Yes, in Rawdah, which you mentioned, that Riyadh, Rawdah, yes, there's always carpet with special color. Okay, in carpet, in that area of carpet, if you feel that you cannot put any more or any material, then you can do sajda on the carpet as part of the taqiyya practice.
Okay. There was an interesting question here. It says, is there any Sunni sheikh, past or present, you hold in high esteem?
Yes, we hold in high esteem many. I'll give you some examples. Sheikh of Al-Azhar, Sheikh Muhammad Abdu or Abda, usually known Muhammad Abdu, Sheikh of Al-Azhar. He was Sheikh of Al-Azhar, right? But he has admitted the fact that Ahlul Bayt are to be followed after the Prophet of Islam. Also, we respect many leading Sunni scholars who have accepted the fact that we as Muslims must follow the orders of the Prophet, who said clearly that I am leaving behind two most important things: the book of Allah and my progeny, Kitab Allah وعترة أهل بيتي. Also, I mention the example of very respected Shaykh al-Islam of his time, Sheikh Sulaiman al-Qunduzi al-Hanafi, who was in Istanbul, and he was the head of the chief of the Sunni scholars of his time, that time of the Osmani government, because in his books you find how he has taken from Sunni books the authentic evidence that following Ahlul Bayt is obligatory on every Muslim. These are few examples, and we respect every scholar who submit, every scholar who submit to the real teachings or real statements of the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him and his holy progeny.
Okay, thank you. Is it okay as a Shia Muslim to make Jum'ah, I think this is supposed to be Jama'ah prayer, in a Sunni masjid?
Yes, it is okay. Yes, it is okay. As we say that we were being taught by Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam to pray with Muslims from any Muslim sect. Yes, please.
Okay. Why do Shias do sujood on a piece of clay? Did the Imams do this or say anything about this?
As I say that we as Shia Muslims are the real followers of the Prophet of Islam and his holy progeny. The Prophet of Islam did not put his forehead in any prayer, but only on the ground, means on the clay. And he said, the hadith is in Bukhari, جُعِلَتْ لِيَ الْأَرْضُ مَسْجِدًا وَطَهُورًا. Allah made for me the earth as a place of sujood, prostration, and a material of purification, tayammum. The Prophet of Islam did not put his forehead on any carpet at all. He used to do sajda on the ground, means on the earth, clay, or anything from the earth, or anything which is from the earth, not edible and not to be worn. So we are following the Prophet of Islam exactly. And anyone who does sajda on the carpet is away from the teachings, away from the sunnah, away from the practice of the Prophet of Islam.
Thank you. What should be done when a proposal which fulfilled all the wishes and seemed perfect received the approval of families, but they decided to perform Istikhara despite being able to decide without it, and the outcome turned out to be very negative?
This is a practice of some people without understanding the rules of Istikhara. Istikhara is not obligatory in every marriage or every act. Now you want to buy a place, or you want to do a trip somewhere, or you want to do business, or you want to do whatever. It is not obligatory on us to go for Istikhara for any act. It is only when we cannot decide. In your situation, when you say that marriage has got all the conditions and both families are happy with it, then why did you go for Istikhara? There's no point on going for Istikhara. Don't think that going for istikhara is a religious practice which we should practice always. No. Istikhara al-khiratu fil-hira. Only when you are not clear whether this marriage is good or not good, yes, you go for istikhara. But when things are clear, there's no question for istikhara in such situation.
And in a situation like that, where apparently everything seems to be perfect, what happens if they were to ignore the istikhara which came out bad?
It is not haram. Not haram at all. Because the istikhara itself was not in its place. Istikhara, I said, when you are unable to decide. But the question what you mentioned, that everything was clear, accepted by the family, all conditions are fulfilled, then what is the question of istikhara? So the istikhara itself was not based on valid reason, but just for ihtiyat, pay sadaqah and go ahead, because the istikhara itself was not required. Yes, please.
My husband and I live 1,500 miles away from our families because of his job. How often do we have to contact our families to stay on the righteous path?
To contact your family nowadays, contacting your families can be through the telephone and other telecom ways. More you contact your family is better. But if you mean how often you need to go and visit them, that depends on your abilities. Of course, it is good to visit your family as much as you can, if you can afford the traveling expenses, but don't ignore the happiness of your family, your parents, mainly your parents, your father and mother. Try to always keep them happy and try to be in touch with them. In fact, you can phone them even every day. There are many mu'mineen who phone their parents daily, every day. And I know people who phone their parents twice a day, morning and evening. That is good. Always be in touch with your parents as much as you can, and go and visit them whenever you can. Yes, please.
Okay. Next question. What should I do if my non-Muslim hostel mates sometimes use my pots to cook pork and my glasses to drink alcohol?
Okay, your non-Muslim roommate use your own pots or glasses and utensils, and they cook. They use alcohol and they cook pork. The answer: you should not worry at all. Just wash those items. The glass which was made najis by alcohol needs to be washed with water 3 times. 3 times the glass will become pure, tahir. Utensil, pork was cooked in it. Don't worry. Wash it 3 times with water and it becomes tahir. Yes, please.
I understand that the Shia and Sunni division occurred due to a political difference. But why do both sects have different wudus, namaz-e-janaza, and nikahs?
The Shia and Sunni division started when the Prophet of Islam was disobeyed. The Prophet of Islam, Muhammad, peace and blessing be upon him and his holy progeny, clearly said that after me, my successor is Ali. And he did not say that in private meeting. No, he made it public in front of more than 120 or 25,000 of Muslims who came back from Hajj with him. That announcement was in the place known as Ghadir. In front of all of them, the Prophet said, for whom I am the leader and master, Ali is his leader and master. And he took the hand of Ali and raised it and said, Man kuntu mawlah, fa'aliyun mawlah. And he ordered every Muslim to come and give allegiance to Ali. That happened on 18th Dhul Hajj, year 10 after Hijrah. Just 70 days, 70 days after that announcement, the Prophet of Islam passed away in 28th of Safar, year 11. Some people who had their own planning to take over the government. Imam Ali and Ahlulbayt and pious companions were busy in the funeral of the Prophet. The Prophet was not yet buried not buried. Some people went to Saqifa and they took help of very well-known Munafiq tribe, Bani Aslam. They made arrangement with Bani Aslam, and 4,000 from Bani Aslam came inside Medina and they supported Saqifa. So people of Saqifa took over the government over the Muslims. That was the reason that many Muslims did not follow the order of the Prophet of Islam, who said that after me, your master, your leader is Ali. That was the reason. And the government of Saqifa wanted to drive people away from Ahlulbayt. So they did not only take away the government, they stopped people from narrating any hadith from the Prophet. It was illegal during the government of Abu Bakr, Umar and Uthman, and even after Uthman, Muawiyah and Bani Umayyah. It was illegal to narrate any hadith from the Prophet, or to write, or to learn, or to teach. The first ruler who allowed Muslims to deal with hadith and narrate hadith was Umar ibn Abdul Aziz, after about 1 century from the passing away of the Prophet. So the Saqifa people wanted Muslims to be away from Ahlul Bayt, away from the hadith of the Prophet. So they changed Salah, they changed wudu, they changed adhan, and they changed many things. So it was not only taking away the government from Ahlul Bayt, it was trying to create leadership opponent to Ahlul Bayt. Shia and Sunni is not only political. It was initiated by those group who took over the government in Saqifa. And all the rulers who came after Saqifa on the same line of Saqifa were dead against Ahlul Bayt. Imam Ali was killed. His wife Fatima al-Zahra was being attacked. His son Imam Hassan was killed by Muawiyah, by poison. Imam Hussein was killed by Yazid, and all the Imams till the 11th Imam, Imam Hassan al-Askari, all of them, none of them died naturally. All of them were being killed. It is not a matter of just taking the government. No, they wanted Muslims to be away from Ahlulbayt. That's why you find now difference in Salah, in Wudu, in Namaz al-Janaza, in many other things. Go to the real teachings of the Prophet, then all Muslims will be united. If they really follow what the Prophet of Islam ordered them, who said, I am leaving behind two most important things that you will never go astray as far as you keep following both of them, the Book of Allah and my progeny, Ahlul Bayt. And this is the real narration, not the narration which is my sunnat. Because my sunnat, that narration of the Book of Allah and my sunnat, is not narrated in any authentic book at all. Take the 6 main books of hadith of Sunnis, Bukhari, Muslim, Tirmidhi, Ibn Majah, all the 6. You don't find single authentic narration in any of these 6 books to claim that the Prophet said, Book of Allah and my sunnat. But you find the authentic narration, that Book of Allah and my progeny. This is the reason. The difference is old, from the time of Saqifa. May Allah guide all Muslims to obey the Prophet, because obedience and obeying the Prophet is obeying Allah. Allah in the Quran said, Allah said clearly, مَن يُطِعِ الرَّسُولَ فَقَدْ أَطَاعَ اللَّهِ. We Shia Muslims have obeyed the Prophet by following Quran and Ahlul Bayt. And those who left Ahlul Bayt and run after XYZ have disobeyed the Prophet of Islam. Peace and blessing be upon him and his holy progeny.
Okay. What is the best age to get married here in the West, and how?
What is the best age to get married? As we read in the authentic statements from the Prophet and Ahlul Bayt, that whenever the person needs marriage, he should get married. Whenever the person feels that he needs or she needs marriage, we have to help to arrange the marriage. Always early is better. We don't support delaying marriage. After all, the human being has got his own desires, and the desire for marriage is something natural. So when the person feels need of marriage, we cannot suppress his desire. He will not become an angel. But what will happen, many of people will be in the danger of committing sinful acts when they don't have lawful way to fulfill their sexual requirements and desires. So we always encourage marriage on time. We don't delay marriage. Even the hadith that one of the rights of the son on his, or the children on their father, is to give them good name and to give them good education about their religion, and وَأَنْ يُزَوِّجَهُ إِذَا بَلَغَ. And when the child becomes baligh and he needs marriage, then the father should arrange for the marriage of his children who are in need of marriage. Yes, please.
Sorry, so maybe I missed it, but so what age would you recommend?
I don't There's no figure. We say وأن يزوجه إذا بلغ. Whenever there is a need for marriage, whenever the boy who is baligh feels needing marriage, or the female who is baligh feels needing marriage, we have to arrange for their marriage.
And what about the argument that some parents make that they don't want their children to get married young because they feel that they're not mature yet, or they don't feel like they have taken on board the responsibility of having a wife or a husband, or that they're not in a financial position to move out from home?
In fact, we have got options. Mainly, we have to apply any option which saves the purity and piousness of our children. We don't want our children to be indulged in any sinful act. We don't want our children who have got sexual desire and they need marriage. We don't let them face a sinful act and make them commit a sinful act because we are not helping them to get married. That's the matter. Now, they say that he is still not matured. Okay, we should try to help him to become mature, try to assist him. I mean, we should assist our children in every possible way. The bottom line is to save them from sinful acts. That is the main aim. Anything else can be managed in different ways. If the son is in need of marriage, you can help him, make him live in one room at home with his wife, and then in the future, when they work, they can get their own house. So it can be step by step. But mainly, we should not expose our children to sinful life. Yes, please.
I want to leave Sunni Islam and become Shia, but my local Shia masjid does not reply, won't reply to my emails.
You don't need to contact your Shia local masjid, even if you live in a place where there's no Shia masjid. Shia Islam is the Islam of the Prophet and his holy progeny. When you believe that you should obey the Prophet who ordered every Muslim to follow Quran and Ahlulbayt, that is enough for you. And if that specific masjid is not replying your emails, you send whatever you want to this program, send an email to this program, inshallah you'll see that you will get proper reply and you will get help from many other Shia masjids, inshallah. The matter of fact, it is not matter of response from any masjid. Now say many non-Muslims who discover that Islam is the real religion from God, they don't need to get reply from their local masjid. No. Matter is between you and Allah. When you believe that there is no God but Allah and Muhammad is his messenger, you are a Muslim. And your mosque is responding or not responding, you don't need a response from any masjid. It is not a legal agreement that you have to sign. No, it is matter between you and God. When you believe in the fact that Shia Islam is following the real teachings of the Prophet of Islam through their Ahlulbayt, through Ahlulbayt alayhim salam, you are a Shia Muslim, whether the local masjid is responding or not responding. Again, I say you can send an email to the program, and inshallah, someone will help you, inshallah ta'ala.
I wanted to ask a question, just as a follow-up question on this particular topic, but it's just slipped my mind, unfortunately. I'll come back to it in due course, inshallah. Okay, let's find another question. Tattoo in the name Ali, is this acceptable?
No. We say that tattoo with any of the holy names means name of Allah, the Prophet, infallible Imams. No. No tattoo with any holy names. Yes, some of the scholars say that it is against the obligatory precaution. Means the obligatory precaution says that you should not write the name of the infallibles on your skin. You cannot touch the name of the infallibles without wudu. Yes, please.
Okay. What if someone were to have the tattoo on their arm? Let's say, for example, their son's name is Muhammad Ali, and they decide to put a tattoo with the niyyah that is their son's name. Would that be acceptable, or is the actual word, it's because it's in the same or the same letters, the same shape as the name of the Holy Prophet and Imam Ali alayhi wassalam? The answer would be no.
The precaution is to avoid that. The precaution is to avoid that. They write Muhammad Ali or Hussein Ali or say Ali Abbas. That Ali is name of Ali alayhi salam. So the precaution is to avoid that.
Okay, thank you. Yes, so going back to the question about the brother or sister, actually I've got the name here, so it's a brother who said he wants to become a follower of Ahlulbayt. Now this is not for him per se, but sometimes we find that individuals want to become followers of the Ahlulbayt. They believe in the, if you like, tenets of Islam, or the differences of opinion. They accept the reasoning behind why it's good to be a follower of the Ahlulbayt, but they feel reluctant to make that change because they will lose their whole kind of social infrastructure, friends, family, you know. And my question is that a justifiable reason to, under such circumstances, say that, at least for the time being, I will remain, or I will not become a follower of the Ahlulbayt alayhim wassalam?
To be a follower of Ahlulbayt is something between you and Allah. You cannot delay it. As you know that the truth is here. But to announce it, which is not obligatory, is something in your hand. We don't say that everyone who believes in Ahlul Bayt should announce it. Same with those non-Muslims who believe in their heart that Islam is the right religion and there is no God but Allah and Muhammad is his messenger. They are Muslims, but they don't need to announce it when they have got a reasonable possibility that they will face problems and boycott and lot of difficulties. So don't disclose your faith when there is a possibility of harm. Those who believe in Islam, real Islam, being the Islam of the Prophet and Ahlul Bayt, don't need to make it public, and they don't even need to inform their own family members. Keep your iman for you, between you and Allah, and don't face the dilemma from your family till you are able to make it in a situation that they are being informed in the future. And you don't need even, we have got many scholars, great scholars, who became followers of Ahlulbayt and they did not disclose it. One of them is a great Sunni alim, very great Sunni alim, who became a follower of Ahlulbayt, but did not announce it, did not declare it. But he made in his will that when I die, do my funeral according to Ahlul Bayt. And that's what happened. So you don't need to announce, and you don't need to lose your friend and your family. No. Keep your iman between you and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Okay, we've been asked to wrap up, Sayyidina, so if you can give us some reading remarks.
I want to remind myself and my respected brothers and sisters and sons and daughters that the month of Rajab is a great chance of best business, best we can get from month of Rajab, by repeating istighfar, by repeating la ilaha illallah, by repeating qul huwa Allahu ahad, by giving charity, by fasting, by dua, by visitation, ziyarat for Ahlul Bayt, even from far. This is a great season for gaining great benefits and also clarifying and purifying our book of deeds from our sins by repeating istighfar. So I say, pay more attention in this month of Rajab and get the maximum we can get from this blessed month in its days and nights and every possible opportunity and chance to gain more and more in this month of Rajab. And don't forget to pray for the reappearance of Imam Al-Mahdi alayhi salam, and pray for the forgiveness and for mercy for your parents in the month of Rajab. This is a chance which does not come always. I mean, today we are alive in this year. Who can guarantee that he will remain alive till the next month of Rajab? No one at all. So let us utilize this great bounty and seek help from Allah to keep us with his sincere servants who serve and follow and obey Allah, the Prophet, and Ahlul Bayt alayhi salam, praying for the reappearance of our Imam. Allahumma ajjil liwaliyyika al-faraj wal-afiyata wal-nasr wansur nasirih واخذل خاذليه واجعلنا من أعوانه وأشياعه وخدامه والمستشهدين بين يديه. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجهم.
وعجل فرجهم. Well, Sayyidina, I actually have 90 seconds, so forgive me for throwing this last question at you. Hopefully you may be able to answer it in time.
Bismillah.
In India, Mumbai, most of our Shia brothers become akhbaris. They recite Aliyun Waliyullah in Tashahhud. What should I reply them? They show many ahadith.
Simply, don't say most, no, a few people, but refer to the scholars, many leading scholars in your city, and ask them to show you the fatwa of the most learned marja of Taqleed, and then you should follow the fatwa of the marja of Taqleed. That is your responsibility if you really believe and follow Imam Al-Mahdi alayhi salam.
Santum, thank you very much indeed, Sayyidina. And of course, as always, thank you to our viewers. Apologies if your question wasn't answered. Until the next time, we'll see you again soon, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.